Genesis chapter 3. We have finally arrived at the fall, as it's titled. I don't know who made these titles. I guess Moses or whoever the author was. But I don't remember exactly how all of this has happened. One thing I didn't say before is it's been a while. I used to know the Bible very, very well. I grew up going to church every single week, sometimes 2 times a week, Sundays and Wednesdays. I used to know the Bible very well because I read it all the time, or at least specific passages as it served the congregations I was a part of and the narratives that people wanted to highlight and reinforce. That's why we're not skipping anything in this book for this channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened. The last thing we got, there was the 7 days of creation, and then Eve was created. That sums it all up. Adam named all the animals. I don't know why I keep focusing on that. I just think it's funny. And then God created Eve from his rib. So now we're on chapter 3, the fall. This is getting exciting, tantalizing, dramatic. Now the serpent, wow, that's a quick introduction. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the other wild animals the Lord God had made. And this is another interesting one that people often point out. It says serpent, not necessarily a snake, since this character, no spoilers, is often depicted as a snake. But it's a serpent, and he was more crafty than any of the other animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" I think that's how he speaks. The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. But God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." I didn't know they couldn't touch it either. They can't even taste of it. That's what my grandfather would say when he would have me try an ice cream sample. Taste of it. But she can't eat or taste it, or touch it. She can't taste or touch it, or you will die. That's what she said. "You will certainly not die," the serpent said to the woman. Well, I mean, "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, good on her. I mean, honestly, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together. My grandparents also had a taste of it. My grandparents also had fig leaves in the backyard. Taste of it. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. I mean, I feel like there's so many details we just don't spend enough time on. God's just walking through the garden that he made with people. So at some point he walked among people. God did it. No mention of Jesus yet. No spoilers. "And they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, 'Where are you?' Hey, where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked. So I hid." That's Adam, by the way. "I heard you in the garden, but I was afraid. I'm naked." And he said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Okay, sometimes you guys are just gonna have to deal with different cadences. I can't, I just have to read it that way. You can interpret it differently, but I'm the reader, so. "Who told you that you were naked?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." That's reasonable. She said, "Hey, Adam," or husband. I don't think she calls him by his name. Maybe she doesn't know. She just was birthed from his rib, so she goes, "Hey, you, the guy that I'm with. Here, eat this. This is tasty. You got to eat this." Then the Lord said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" Oh, that sounded like Ron Burgundy. "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent," everyone's pointing fingers at each other. The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." So the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this," you can't see this again. Maybe you can see it on camera. Right there. It separates into its own paragraph for God to speak. "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life." This is pretty hard from God. That's dropping a hard line there. "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." I find it interesting that God gives a little back there at the end. Your head will be crushed, but you will strike at his heel. Maybe it's saying like it's like the lowest part on a man, so you'll only be able to strike at the thing that's lowest to him, even though a copperhead bite. I mean, I know I said it's not a snake, but like you can lose a leg to not a copperhead, but a rattlesnake will take it off. A copperhead, you don't want that either. That it hurts. You'll, as my father-in-law said, you'll be in the hospital, but you'll wish you were dead. It's eerie. To the woman, now it's the woman's turn. To the woman, Eve. I don't know why they're not using names, but it literally says, to the woman, he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. I feel like he doesn't have to say that part. It's pretty obvious. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Yikes. I'm just reading it, folks. Don't get mad at me. To Adam, Adam's involved in this too. See, we always forget about the guy. We blame the yucky little serpent, the guilty woman, but Adam's involved. To Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. He quotes himself. It says that. Because you I'm sorry I keep rereading this. And ate from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat it. Oh, okay. We got another paragraph separation here. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. Was it less bad before? That just seems normal to me. Well, okay. So I guess he was walking around there just pulling food off of trees and eating that way. But now he's got to actually grow it. So I guess that'd be a step down. That makes sense. It will produce thorns. Oh, I should have kept reading. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, or just until we develop factory farming and you can just drive up to a window and cram a chicken sandwich into your mouth. Until you return from the ground, since from it you were taken, for dust you are, in dust you will return. That's a nice callback to you will certainly die. So turn back into dust. That happens to the best of us. That's the way it goes. Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all the living. She didn't have a name. I assumed that based on the name of chapter 2. If you weren't here for chapter 2, it's called Adam and Eve, but I guess the name doesn't come until here. I also don't know why that means she becomes the mother of all living, but if anyone knows, let me know. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. So I guess, well, that's nice. I mean, he's mad. God's mad, but he makes garments out of skin for them. Maybe I guess he saw the fig leaves and was like, come on, guys. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us. What? What is this? The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Us? Are there more gods? That's okay. I'm not going to make presumptuous. I'm not going to say things in a condescending tone like that. I'm going to try not to. That's interesting, though, because like I said before, this translation is based on accuracy. So the man, again, if anyone knows anything about these verses, fill me in here. These are some of the gaps in my knowledge. The Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us. First of all, acknowledging that man or Adam has become like a god or like gods. I'm confused by that, because I don't remember that. Maybe I saw it one time and I forgot about it until now. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree. There it is, from the tree of life, and eat and live forever. So the tree of, okay, let me read it normally so everyone can hear it. I sound like a preacher. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So he made 2 trees. One was of life. All right, so in the middle of recording, I ran out of battery. So I went and worked out and took a shower. You can see I'm still a little bit wet here. I remember having a lot of momentum around Adam turning back to dust. Or was it it was the skins, the garments of skin that God made for Adam and his wife. I'll pick back up around there just because I know I was close. Right after skins, and I'm sorry that I don't even remember what I was talking about, what point I was making. Let's just jump back in. And the Lord God said, that was it. The man has now become like one of us. Yeah, and I was confused because it sounds like multiple gods. Well, let's not dwell on that much longer. I think that was good enough. This is the important part. This is the part everybody knows. So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. Isn't that ironic? After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim. It doesn't say like multiple, or maybe I can read the reference here. It just says cherubim. Maybe that's plural. Cherubim and a flaming sword. After he drove man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. So after the tree of life was... Wait, life? I thought it was knowledge of... Oh, life. Life is the one that makes them eternal, apparently. We haven't found any of these things in the modern day world. I think people have different theories on why. I don't know. The tree died. Again, ironically, the tree of life. No longer guarded by any angels. And I think cherubim's like one of the scary angels too, the ones that like TikToks are going around showing like, well, I don't remember which form it is. It's not the one with all the eyeballs, but it's a scary one. And a flaming sword. We haven't found any flaming swords guarding a tree in modern day history. But if anyone wants to take any guess why that's not around anymore, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Again, I would love to see any explanations. That's it for chapter 3. Chapter 4 is coming up next. Cain and Abel. If you know, you know. We'll see you guys next time.